What up, Skag Rat? Welcome to the 1313 podcast. I'm Jacob.
I'm Jackson.
And I'm Tommy.
And I'd be watching where I was sticking my nose if I were you. Welcome back to the podcast. This is the podcast.
This is indeed the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe.
Yep.
And boy howdy, it is a big week for Star Wars. We have quite a bit to talk about.
But before that, a little bit of housekeeping. Be sure to join that Discord if you haven't already. And make sure that you are subscribed to the 1313 Podcast YouTube channel for a chance to win this Bad Batch Rex figure. At 500 subscribers, we'll be giving it away. If you haven't heard, tell your mother, tell your friends.
Tell your dog, tell your auntie.
Tell your pet
Tell
fish.
your baby mama.
Make sure that you're subscribed to the 1313 Podcast YouTube channel for a chance to win that figure. Thank you very much.
And with that, also join the Discord. Our Discord server is a fun place where you can interact with us and other Star Wars fans. We are a very positive, fun,
Today, Junior.
and no hablo inglés. Just join the Discord.
Today. Well,
And with that, let us begin with a discussion of
my death.
the Book of Boba Fett season finale, episode 7,
Yes.
In the Name of Honor.
Get it? Because I'm Cad Bane.
He's Bad Kane. And I just want to...
Is it bad? Okay, I thought for a bit, what if I actually colored my face blue for this episode and dressed
Let's
up like
not
this?
do that.
I thought that would be quite hilarious until after 15 minutes, and then the joke was just kind of like, oh no, he's just got blue in his face, and then I probably wouldn't be able to wash it off for the rest of the week.
Dang. So the episode opens up, and we... So the episode opens up, and we are in the ruins of the sanctuary. I was very ashamed that we didn't get to see the toasted, roasted bodies and corpses of all the patrons of the sanctuary.
They were disintegrated. Quick side note, we never get to see if Max Rebo is dead or alive in this entire
He wasn't
episode.
in the shot, so
Max
he
Rebo
definitely wasn't in the
wasn't
blast.
in the shot, so he lived.
Is my Garsa whip safe? Is she alive?
And with that, so basically Boba Fett and Mando are like talking with Fennec Shand, and they're just hanging out. Mando's like, yeah, I got some reinforcements. Little does Mando know, Cobb Vanth and his deputy both just got capped by none other than Bad Kane.
Wow.
And
I'd be careful where I'm sticking my nose. Tough talk for a fellow without a nose, I must say.
so then they're just having a little chit-chat. They devise a plan on how they can counter-strike the Pikes.
Yes.
And then it all goes wrong.
It all goes terribly wrong.
Cad Bane comes
quickly.
back.
Wow,
Cad
really?
Bane shows up, scares some Jawas with his beautiful teeth. Walks into... This is at Mos Eisley, by the way. We see Mayor Mok Shaiz,
Whoa.
who is not on a vacation, as we all probably could have assumed.
Yeah.
What? It was a scheduled vacation. I don't know if you could tell from my accent, but I received education on Coruscant. But not to say I'm better than anyone. That man is so infuriating.
So he's like the C-3PO of the...
He's just
show.
pompous.
But yeah, so he shows up, and Cad Bane shows up, and they're talking, and it is confirmed. I know that we called it since the very beginning. The Nikto speed bikers did not kill the Tuskens.
We still deserved it.
It was, in fact, the Pikes who set it up. I was like, I just knew this from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wanted to put that out there.
Called
for
it.
everybody.
It's nice to predict, but yeah. At the same time, though, they did deserve it. They was just out there being rude to people. You know what? Get gadded.
Wow.
Cry to your
Anyways.
mama. Guess what? You can't. They're all dead.
Oh.
But yeah, so the Mayor Mok Shaiz kind of is like, hey man, can we not blow up places of business
It's like,
with
can
a
we
bunch
not-
of innocent people?
He's like, can we not destroy the town that I'm the mayor of? The Pikes were like, "Eh."
Pike's like, sorry, but we already did that, so basically we can just keep doing it if we want.
Yeah. And we also see again the leaders of those specific families.
The crime families.
Yes, that have sided with the Pikes and lied to Fett, which was kind of the major twist from last episode and going into this as well.
Bum bum ba. Fett has all of his enforcers scattered throughout Mos Espa, and they're like, everything's fine and dandy until the lizards, the monkey men, and
the dog people
all turn on him, and they whip the Gamorrean guards off a cliff. They shoot the mods, and then they dogpile Black Chrysanthemum.
All right, I'm just gonna put it out there right here and right now before we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode.
Okay.
The mods, just like they just don't feel Star Wars to me. I don't know if it's their acting or if it's like
the fact that
their mannerisms, but like they just don't like feel Star Wars to me.
I felt like it was fine. I mean, again, we're exploring new areas of Star Wars, so there's always going to be something different.
What didn't fit with me is the fact that the style of the entirety of The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett has been Western and samurai film at its core and its stylization. So to throw some cybernetic punk kids in a more like 2000s kind of era vibe of a creation of the prequels doesn't really fit in with what they were doing.
They were also dressed like very Southern California. I think that's the other thing that kind of got me.
Yeah.
Was just like they were a little... And again, we've seen this style before in episode 2 and in episode 8. You have these people that are dressed almost like very earthy. And I don't know. I mean, it was not a big deal. Like, I just wanted to put it out there.
There's quite a few things in this episode that just didn't sit quite right with me, but we'll talk about it.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I'm going to just come right out of the gate and give this episode an 8 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 6.
Jackson, what do you give the show as a whole?
As a whole, I'm going to say it is just as good as The Mandalorian, The Bad Batch, and all the other shows that we've received. I feel like this has the rewatchability of those shows, and it had a very enticing story for me. I really think it was good. There wasn't really a lot of parts where I'll say it's boring because like every other story that exists, you need to have your necessary exposition to set up said story. The Clone Wars has it, Rebels has it, and the whole first season, because everybody complains that the first season of Rebels is so slow. Every show has that, and only for the first 2 episodes of 7 for the Book of Boba to really be that necessary exposition is fine with me, Again, I just thought it was great overall. I know Jacob doesn't like a lot of aspects of this episode specifically, but I loved it. I loved watching every second of it, being awake for it, and just seeing it.
I will say, my anticipation for this episode to come out was sky high. And I will
absolutely.
say, aside from the mods, and it's not that I don't like them, I just didn't jive with them too much. But this episode was really cool, and I can't wait to talk about the best part of this show, which was Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Boba Fett's character development and character arc in this TV show was the best part of the show.
I got stuff to say about that when we get to it.
But I feel like the only things that really bothered me about this episode is just like, it's like 3 things. It was the mods, the droids, the pacing, and I guess a 4th is Cad Bane's death. But the
spoiler alert.
Yeah. I think Cad Bane kind of went out like a punk.
I got so much to say on that because I feel like that is the most important part of the episode.
It definitely is like one of the most important parts. Are we going to go into it now, or are we just going to summarize the episode?
Let's weave our way through the episode because
just going to keep going.
That we get back to the Pikes know that Boba Fett is holed up in the sanctuary.
Yeah.
We see this confrontation between Cad Bane and Boba Fett. And Cad Bane, I didn't think that he was just going to outright say it. I thought Boba Fett was going to find out that the Pikes were responsible for the death of his found family. But in fact, Cad Bane literally just says it. I think he's doing it to try to entice Boba into a fight. And he's very confident. He's like, let's do it right now. Like, let's fight you and me.
Because Cad Bane still views Boba Fett as child Boba Fett from the Clone Wars. He's never thought Boba Fett ever grew up or did anything on his own. He's still in a way his teacher in a sense, but I'll get more into that when we talk about Cad Bane's death.
I think that Cad Bane knows Boba not for who he is now, and he says later on in the episode, he said, I've known you a long time. What's your angle? Because Boba Fett has always played an angle, evidently.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't understand that Boba Fett has changed. And I liked this first encounter because Boba Fett...
You're getting soft in your old age.
Yeah, like you have Fennec Shand, who is being the voice of reason for Boba, because if she wasn't there, Boba Fett definitely would have just gone off, and he probably would have lost the fight.
Yes.
He probably would have lost right then and there. But I think that Fennec Shand did what she's done this entire show and been the voice of reason for Boba. And meanwhile, Din Djarin is just hanging out, watching it all go down. And
my man posted up. You already know the vibe.
And Cad Bane does say, like Jacob said, he tells Boba that he's getting soft in his old age. And I thought that was really fitting because it goes to show everyone, in not just us as viewers, but people in the Star Wars universe have an expectation of who Boba Fett is.
Yes.
His reputation precedes him. And so Boba Fett is trying to figure out how to navigate this world after he's found himself.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that interaction. And so then we just kind of go into the sequence where, we get the whole listing of where the mods are, where Chrysanthemum is, where the Gam Guards are. But then we also get a scene with Pelly in her little hangar with her pet droids.
We get to see BD again. That was nice.
And we see an X-Wing pull up. And I sat there. I was like, oh, Luke
I
Skywalker gonna show up? Luke Skywalker?
I honestly, I kind of hoped it was gonna be Luke Skywalker coming back to Tatooine for one last time. I had my fingers crossed, but then I was like, oh, just baby in the cockpit getting to the R2 Uber.
R2 was like, all right, I gotta dip. I got stuff to do. She's like, no, stay a while.
Baby's gotta eat. R2's like, bro, I gotta dip.
Evidently, boss, I'm not trying to be here no more.
Just like one thing I wanted to mention, because you kind of moved a bit off the Cad Bane topic a little bit too quick. I like how the writers are definitely self-aware about the fact that people were not going to like how Boba Fett was written, because they mentioned a couple times saying Boba's getting soft. He's soft. You're soft in your old age. And I think they anticipated that people were going to think that way about Boba, thinking that he was soft. So it's nice to see that the writers did it, but they did it intentionally, and they knew kind of like how people were going to react.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to counter that. I'm going to say not that people weren't going to like Boba's character necessarily, but as the viewer, just as everyone in the universe is, I would say more like they're questioning what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Why did he change so much so fast?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense if you haven't been there to see it, and I know there are a lot of people that are really just, I've seen a lot of like negative comments about the flashbacks and like the extent of the flashbacks in the show. As viewers, you needed to see how Boba Fett got from where he was in Return of the Jedi to where he is now. I don't think it would have been as effective if you just showed 5 minutes or even just the one episode where he's with the Tuskens.
Yeah.
I think you needed to see the full arc, because again, this is the Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly.
The only reason I said people didn't like it is because the amount of hate towards his character online. I wasn't saying like the majority is people dislike it.
No, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, that's why I phrased it that way. But yeah. Anyway, Grogu's back. Woot woot.
Again, like how we discussed last episode as well.
No, I wanted him to be a Jedi. I'm sick of seeing Grogu. No!
It really could have gone both ways with Grogu, that he could have become a Jedi or went back with Mando. I was really, really happy to see him. And skipping ahead a little bit, but when Mando ends up seeing Grogu again, that honestly made me tear up again, because I just love the connection between Grogu and Mando. It's an amazing example of the writing in the show. They're able to make these two characters connect so well and have such a strong like relationship. Like, I'm genuinely happy for everything that the two go together. I really love Grogu as a character. I feel like he really just gets hate because of all the merch. I hate the merch, but I love Grogu.
I don't like Grogu because I'm sick and tired of the people that still call him Baby Yoda. Please stop. It's kind of annoying. It's kind of repetitive, and I get it. It's a whole flock of new Star Wars fans that aren't really into like the Star Wars movies, and they like the Mandalorian just because Grogu cute, and that's nice for a little bit. But when all I hear about when I try to talk to anybody about the Mandalorian, oh my gosh, that's the show of Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda's so cute. Shut up. Just shut up. There's so many more aspects.
My man, pessimistic.
I'm angry today. There's so many more aspects of that show which are beyond just Grogu. Like the character of Din Djarin, the people around Din Djarin, the way that the story's weaving into the prequels, the original trilogy, the sequels, the way that we're seeing new technology used in filmmaking that we've never seen before. No, bro, it's time to look at Baby Yoda. Time to look at, oh, look, he's so cute. He went, he's so cute. Please just shut up about Baby Yoda. And I was really hoping for a minute that Grogu was going to select to stay at the Jedi Temple. I knew he wasn't, but I was hoping he was, because I think my favorite part about episode 5 of this season was being able to see Mando just being Mando, not being like, well, I got to care for this baby that's with me 24/7. I'm just going to.
But he's nothing without him.
Yeah, he's definitely something without him.
But his life is meaningless. He did a job and he hated it.
Not meaningless.
He doesn't belong anywhere except with Grogu. That's the whole point of their relationship.
But it's saying that he's nobody without him is also kind of ignorant, just because Mando is a phenomenal bounty hunter, a phenomenal warrior, and probably one of the best Mandalorians we've ever seen cross the screen. So to say that he's nothing without Baby Yoda.
Let's get off the Mandalorian talk.
Well,
it intertwines with everything.
I would like to. I mean, I'm not gonna. Let me think of how I want to say this. I think with Mando, yes, you're absolutely right. He's good at being a bounty hunter. He's a good Mandalorian. He's very strong on his own. But we talked about I think it was last episode. Mando, his character arc, a big part of it is finding where he belongs and having a true, genuine connection with another being.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Mando grow in making the selfless decision. This is the only person that Mando has this deep of a connection with in his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from maybe his parents, who he lost when he was maybe I'm guessing 6 years old. This is a guy who has found a genuine connection with another being for the first time in his life. And he's been taken from him, and he knows that that's what's best for Grogu, so he makes the selfless decision and chooses what he thinks is best for Grogu. And then Grogu turns around and decides to go back to Mando. And I think that Grogu has grown in that now he has had some training in the Force and had his past reawakened. So he now is able to take care of himself a little more. I think we're going to see a lot less of Mando carrying Grogu around and really babying him like he has before. I mean, I know this is later in the episode, but we literally just saw Grogu use the Force 2 or 3 times in this episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think that, and it's kind of funny that Din never actually sees it. He's he was passed out when Grogu put the Rancor to sleep. But I think that the character development has set up these two characters so that they can do more with season 3. I think that that's why they integrated this, partially for that reason, into this show, but also because if you're going to bring Din Djarin back, the audience is going to want to know where Din Djarin has been.
Exactly.
So they had to dedicate an episode to this character, especially because he's going to be so integral into the plot at the end. So
I think I would have liked to see Mando on his own a little bit more to get that realization that, oh, I need Grogu, because it's just we get one episode where he's I do jobs, I go see my old friends don't like me no more, what do? I go see the baby again, baby want to come back.
Well, yeah, but his jobs are meaningless and he doesn't enjoy it, and then he doesn't have anywhere to go because he's kicked out of the covert.
Because that's what I see what you're saying here is that he's kind of just going through the motions. He's doing the only thing that he's known his entire life, which is do bounties and find the covert. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's cool as an audience member to see Mando kick ass and stuff. But at the same time, it's for him and his character arc, he's regressing by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what that was all about.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is I would have liked to see it a little bit more, and I'm just annoyed that Grogu as a character throughout the time that we've seen him, because he's 50 years old, but he still is a baby. It's just the constant coddling of the characters, it's gotten old. It for me, it's gotten old. I'm rewatching season 1 and season 2. I'm like, I get it. You're a child, but I don't think I can go through season 3 with Grogu being like how he is. So I'm praying that the time that he's had with Luke Skywalker has matured him a little bit, and that he will be more independent and actually be more of a, I would say, a supporting character rather than just kind of like someone there that constantly needs protection.
Maybe
Kinda,
you just hate children so much.
This is why this is why Omega works, because Omega is a competent character that can fend for herself, and the Bad Batch realize that throughout the show. They realize, oh, we don't have to constantly coddle Omega. Omega can teach us stuff. We can learn from Omega, and she can hold her own. So like Omega is like a integral character, whereas Grogu is just kind of, for the most part, in some cases, he's just there.
This is like, I think this is one of the best discussions that we've ever had.
It's because we've never disagreed
but I want to talk
anything.
about Boba.
But like, I do want to just like one more thing about that. I think I would argue that Grogu has, while he is a baby and he does need coddled and stuff like that, I would argue that he has shown his competence multiple times throughout the show. He heals Grief Karga. He stops the incinerator trooper from literally capping everyone and ending the show.
Yes.
And there are several times in season 2 as well where Grogu comes in handy. Actually, in the second episode of the show, he saves Din's life from the Mudhorn.
Mm-hmm. But the problem with that is he does it and then he falls asleep. So that it's like he has a moment where he shines and then he's literally defenseless. So it's like I want to see. We see it in this episode where Grogu, he can do stuff and continue to do stuff because we see that he's grown in strength. He's not like, I do one thing, I fall asleep, except for after the Rancor when he literally goes up and snuggles with it and falls asleep. It's like, yeah, Grogu has been able to hold his own, but the second he holds his own, he just immediately just kind of, I'm done. So I want to see him be able to hold his own and continue to hold his own throughout it, rather than just being like, I do one thing. I do one thing.
So I just want to say, Star Wars fans, take notes, because this is how you have a civil discourse about Star Wars.
No, it isn't. I'm going to scream at Jacob when it's over.
Aside from that, no, but seriously, like, this was like a really good, intelligent conversation about differing opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And my opinion might just be strong like this today, because I'm gonna be frank, today, not a good day. So it's like, I might just be like a little heated coming off of it, and that's why I might come off a tad bit hostile. But I don't know. It's just,
we love you, Jacob.
I love you too, boys. But it's Grogu. I just want to see him. I want to see him grow as a character, and I don't want to be a hindrance to Mando, because it just, stop touching me.
You'd like to
go. Throughout the Mandalorian, Grogu is a means to protect. He has to protect him a lot throughout the show, and it's like, oh, there's bounty hunters always after him. We got to protect him from that. There's constant threats. I have to protect him from that. I just want to see Grogu be his own standalone character and actually make him speak, at least at the end of season 3. That'd be cool.
That's how that Jackson and I will talk about.
George Lucas comes in to voice Grogu.
The three of us have like a theory. That they're in the real world, they're NPCs, and
non-playable characters. For those of you who do not play video games, when you say something
that they don't have a predetermined dialogue option for, they just stare at you, and you just we have a joke like you'll just go speak.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, aside from Din and Grogu, which they were a big part of this episode, I will say. Now, let's get back to Boba Fett. So they realize it's a trap. Boba and Fennec and Din are hanging out at the sanctuary with the mayor's assistant. Didn't know the man was there, but evidently he's there. And we see the Gam guards get turned into smashed ham.
I'm really upset about that.
I was really upset. I genuinely was upset.
I saw them fall. I said,
but
damn.
They might need resuscitation. And I'm just saying.
Shut up.
Whoa.
Shut up.
Chill the freak out already.
Shut up.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done with that.
You do realize them fellas' lips are like this thick, right?
Oh, trust me, I know.
How are you going to get a seal on that?
Oh, I know.
How are you going to get a seal on that, Tom?
Anyways. So, then we see Chrysanthemum literally get covered and smothered by Trandoshans.
Yeah.
There's no way Chrysanthemum would have survived that, bro.
I'm gonna be completely real with you. I knew Chrysanthemum wasn't gonna die in that encounter.
Yeah.
So this is where like my tensions as the viewer, this is where like because up to this point I was kind of just like watching the episode. You know, I'm excited for it, but my anticipation to start watching it had died, and now I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man, like I was expecting them to get betrayed, but not like this.
Yeah.
And then the mods, you know, they start getting shot and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, whoa,
something's going on. They're acting weird.
You have to also understand the mods aren't warriors or expert shots or anything. They're punks with pistols, and that's literally it. So they don't know how to do anything.
They got that Nerf single shot plunger gun.
They have the most Espa Vespas, but that's about it. So that's all they got. No,
I think my favorite part of the episode is when the one guy gets knocked off. He like rides in heroically, and then just his bike just goes. Chomp.
So then the Pikes show up and they start attacking Boba and Din and Fennec, and they're like getting set up. And probably one of the funniest Star Wars scenes I've ever seen is where the mayor's assistant starts monologuing about his diplomatic skills.
It's like, not that it's I don't want to seem pompous, but
not that it's a big deal.
I majored in what was it? It was negotiations. He goes out there. Let's skip the pleasantries.
Dude, I thought the second he was gonna walk out, I thought you were just gonna hear a gunshot. And just
I was really hoping for that. I was like, this is it. This is it. And then he didn't die. I was like,
it was so funny.
I was kind of hoping for that.
Dave, do better.
You killed the Twi'lek we didn't want to die, and then you don't kill the one we do?
You took her from me! You took her and you kept him!
Is she okay? Is she alright?
Base MILF, no!
You forgot your cantina.
Okay.
But yeah, so then he goes out, and it's a pretty comical scene. The Pikes don't want anything to do with him. He's like, oh, I really hope that one day I will get to see the mountain ranges of Obadiah one of these days. He's like, oh.
And these fellas were like...
And then they were like, hurry up, tailhead. He's like, that one has never gotten old.
I like that they said that, because I think that's
Space
the only
slurs.
time, other than in season 1 where Boyle says it. I think that's the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only other time we've ever heard them referred to as tailheads. It's definitely like a slur.
It's like, yes, space slurs. Thank you.
But yeah,
thank you, Dave Filoni, for giving us space slurs.
He starts reading the tablet, and he goes, "These are the terms," and you just see his face.
These are the terms.
Yeah.
He goes.
They're like, "What is it?" And he's like,
What are your terms? What are your terms? And they're like, read it. And he's like, the terms are nothing. If you don't go away, your bodies will fertilize the flowers. And then they're like, not cool.
They're about to shoot him, and then we get to see, as a Battlefront 2 player,
I think this was probably the coolest part of the episode.
seeing for the first time.
So I got Black Series news. Somebody tagged us in something. We'll get to it when we talk about the new wave, but it's regarding Target.
Okay, sweet.
Somebody had just tagged us in it. So thank you to...
us? Let's find out.
Shoes Shock 626.
Never heard of them before, so thank you so much for tagging us.
Just got tagged in it. I wanted to look at it right now.
So yeah, so then we see literally. Keep in mind, you've seen it in comics, you've read it in books, you've played it in video games, but you've never seen it canonically on screen. Boba Fett flying around, being a complete badass.
I agree.
I can't say that.
That was really freaking cool.
Dude, it was, I was watching it with my father, so I was kind of trying to suppress my nerdisms, but I was literally like, oh my god, he's flying, and it looks like Battlefront 2. He's flying, this is awesome!
I think my favorite part is when he's on the ground and he uses his jetpack to dodge and stuff.
That was so cool.
That was really cool. I like that the most.
I was like, whoa.
And then Din was flying around too, like, wee! It looks so cool to actually see them, like, because we never really see the jetpack used.
Not
like
to that degree.
Yeah. So it was really cool. Very, very nice.
It was awesome. You get an awesome fight scene where Boba and Din are just mowing down Pikes. And then they start to get overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. And then I believe it's the people of Freetown come first.
Pull up in the tank.
Pull up in the speeder tank, and then the
Pull
Weequay
up,
goes, yeah, Cobb Vanth, dead. And I sat there and was like,
Huh?
he's dead? I was sitting there going, I can't wait to explain this one on the podcast. After me and Jackson and you so certainly last week were like, yeah, he's alive. He's not dead.
They're like, yeah, he's gone. And I literally sat there and just went, huh.
I was like, well, that was a stupid, like, death for him.
I know.
Yeah.
I was kind of like,
But psych, guess he's not really dead.
As
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, but no, so they show up and they start, mowing down some pikes, and then the Mos Espa Vespa gang shows up, and then this was the other thing that kind of like took me out of the episode. It's this stupid argument between the people of Freetown and the city slickers of Mos Espa. Like every time they'd make those comments, I'd be like, why?
It's like, bro, both of you live on Tatooine. You have no room to talk.
Okay.
Both of you are basically living in a.
I
see
do
what I mean?
agree with that because
yeah, it was so.
that was a
what?
conflict that was never pre-established, in my opinion. We have never seen in the lore of Star Wars tensions between people who live within the cities of Tatooine and the people who do not. So, I mean, the Weequay of Freetown briefly mentioned that in the last episode.
That's a problem for city folk.
Yeah, but that was the first time we've heard it, and that kind of put me off because I was like, city folk, I was like, y'all live on the same trash planet, to be honest.
Keep in mind, Tatooine is trash. Like, let's
It
just be
really
real about
is.
it.
And so, like, yeah, to see that continue into the next episode, I was like,
Like they would make these comments to each other, and like I'm glad that Boba like shut it down. He's like save it for the pikes, because I literally sat there and I was like, that's just so forced. I felt like it was very forced.
maybe it'll
And
be
then-
developed in other
But
properties.
then later, when they're like the one mod and the one girl, like, we're gonna go up on the roof and we're gonna do it together. I was like, yeah, that was forced. It
Was so forced, and it felt very out of place. I
Yeah.
was like, what y'all gonna do? Kiss? Like, what's gonna like? It's like it just felt the whole thing felt so forced, and they're like, yeah, we're friends.
We
Shoot
can
the pikes. I'm
we
like,
can do it together now. I'm like, it.
woo.
Woo.
Yay.
I'm not hating.
One lives in a rural area. One lives in a slightly less rural area. Woo.
So I want to get this out of the way.
Ruler area.
Just because I'm not a fan of something or I'm not crazy about something doesn't mean I'm going to go out of my way to vehemently hate the characters or the actors.
Yeah,
who
I don't
play the
hate
characters.
it.
Yep.
If you do that,
Die.
don't watch this podcast. I'm
If
gonna
you
be
do
honest
that-
with you.
Die.
If you're going to be hateful like that, you don't need to watch this podcast.
That's facts. That's
Stay
facts.
far away from us.
Shouts out to Rose Tico. You did not deserve it.
Kelly Marie Tran, Ahmed Best, Jake Lloyd, all of you guys.
Mhm.
If you partook in any of that hate, I'm sorry. You don't belong
Mhm.
in this community.
Especially if
Let's be
you,
real about it.
especially if you were one of the people that vehemently bullied Jake Lloyd, you should really be ashamed of yourself. Because I don't know if you know where he is right now, but he's in a mental institution.
Yep.
Yeah.
He took so much like grief from that as a young kid that it literally drove him to substance abuse and near insanity, and now he has developed a semi-severe case of schizophrenia, and now he lives in a mental institution.
And this isn't
so
one of
thank you,
those-
Star Wars, for bullying a freaking child.
This
Thank
isn't one
you.
of those things where like we like make a joke about it and move on. Like this is genuinely a thing where we all agree. Like
Yeah.
It's disappointing.
it's actually you're a foul human being if you do stuff like that.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
whether it's on the internet or in person or whatever, like seriously, like stop watching.
They
The
just
podcast
play a
if you do that
character,
stuff.
and that's it.
Mhm.
Like, literally,
Anyways.
that's their job.
No
Aside from
tolerance for that.
Yeah,
No
zero tolerance for that here. Anyways, now that we're done,
I can make fun of Jar Jar as a character.
I'll get
I'm
off
not
my
gonna make fun of the
soapbox.
actor though.
I'll get out. Let me get. Let me get on my soapbox.
It's like, yes, let me get off my soapbox.
Sergeant being like, I'll get off my soapbox now.
A
after every
reference that nobody's
discussion.
gonna get.
So
Anyway.
I hate you all.
So then Chrysanthemum shows up, literally chucks a pike, probably 10
Yeah.
feet. And then this, I'm not gonna lie, I actually thought Chrysanthemum was gonna die.
Me
in
too.
this scene. I was getting really upset. I was like, why aren't y'all protecting him? Why aren't y'all protecting him?
I was surprised that he didn't die. I was like, man's getting shot quite a
Yeah.
quite a lot.
His blaster's dope though, because it's powerful.
It's so cool.
Go-to.
I'm so glad that he lived through the show though. He was a really exciting character to
Yes.
see.
Mm-hmm.
And then they push them back, don't they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
push him
Yeah,
back.
I've watched the episode twice, but it's like so action packed that I'm like trying to keep all the sequence of events in order.
I only watched it once, so I can't really remember
I watched it
everything.
once.
So they start to retreat, and then you see the shadow coming across, and I'm like, at first, I'm like,
Well, no, it was Mando uses his thermal
Yes.
on his
Yeah.
helmet, and then you just see like a nee
at
in the
first I
background.
thought it was a separatist anti-air tank, like those turret ones,
Yeah.
that were on like Ryloth.
Mhm.
There will be a picture on the screen. But I thought it was one of those. But then it was these literally that it came around the corner, and my dad went, "Oh my god, it looks like Terminator."
Yeah.
Scorpion droids.
I really got Terminator vibes from it. But it's another thing that I felt kind of didn't fit with the show. Like, it's not like we're not used to seeing droids. It's just like a droid that's like super tall, super chromed out, looks like it's out of RoboCop.
To me, it felt like something out of Legends, like something
Yeah.
like a beefed up droidica.
Yeah.
Or even
Especially when they pulled out
Discord,
the bubble shields.
Yeah, because the bubble shield felt powerful, but at the same time, I was like, okay, but is that how it would be more in live action if we could see the Clone Wars
Mhm.
Yeah.
and the advanced technology? Because I was like, okay, I definitely feel like that's an adaptation of something.
Mhm.
But I agree, it did feel a little off-putting at first, but I was like, it also could just be prehistoric tech from the Clone Wars, because a lot of people just end up
Well,
using that.
it's obviously not prehistoric tech because the shields were not able to. You couldn't walk through it, and
Well,
that was
yes.
something I feel that they needed to address immediately because it
I
was
agree.
vehemently pissing me off when I was watching Boba and Din Djarin just be like, I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit it. Oh, I can't shoot through it. Why can't I shoot through
Well-
it? Because I was sitting there going, just stick your hand inside and
Yeah.
shoot it. Or like the one thing that was like I was really thinking the entire time. It was like what we see in the Clone Wars, where it's like you have to roll the thermal detonator slowly. Mando has remote charges on his belt. Why not just set one on the ground, be like, come this way, and have it go dee, 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 and walk over, and then have it blow up. That was literally what I was thinking the entire time. But then again, benefit of the doubt, these characters don't know that. They didn't really fight in the Clone Wars. Boba didn't really fight on that front of the Clone Wars.
I wouldn't have
Yeah.
expected any of those characters to know that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was just,
I
it was
agree.
like, I feel like they just needed to address the fact that they cannot stick their hand in there and do anything to them, like right off the bat, because I was sitting there like, just walk in it.
Yeah.
I was like, if your kinetic energy is slow enough, you're able to walk in it, because that's how they're able to walk over terrain and not bump into the terrain.
Yeah.
So I feel like they needed to show that first, because I was so confused. I was like, bro, just walk in.
So these like beefed up droidicas, they never gave them a name. So
No, the Scorpion droids, I said that. That's what the one, I think it was the weak way, if I'm right, but somebody specifically said Scorpion droids
Oh,
in the
okay,
episode.
So yeah, so they start attacking.
I'm gonna check real quick to see if Scorpion droids are in Legends.
Yeah, they start attacking, and they're totally outgunned.
Yeah.
So Boba does the selfless thing and tells them, just everyone go, I'll distract them, like go. And Din's like, come on, dude, don't do that. Like, that's just pointless. Like, you're going to die, and then they're just going to keep attacking. Like, nothing's going to. So Boba and Din are trying to fight them, and they're not succeeding. And Boba goes, all right, Mando, take care of this. I'll be right back. And he just flies away. And Din's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then Pelly shows up, and she's like, Din's like, get out of here. And she's like, huh? And he's like, get out of here. She's like, huh?
She's annoying. But yeah, that's where we see the kid. That was really cool.
It was cool. They had a little reunion. Grogu like jumped into Din's arms, which I thought was cute.
Yeah.
Scorpion droids were concept art for early stages of Clone Wars and in Episode 2, from what I'm seeing.
Oh, cool.
So
Maybe droidicas.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it was. Well, they were
Oh, but-
Scorpion droids. They were just concept art.
But the design looks the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
dope. That was totally a Dave
Here-
Filoni thing.
Yeah, just throw this picture up on screen for what it.
Yeah, I got it.
Looked like-
Wikipedia.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
look. Teaser for. Oh, now it's the Harlem Globetrotters. Never mind. it was Mando, and then it turned into Scooby Doo's Harlem Globetrotters episode from 1997.
So again, like, there was so much tension in this episode. I was genuinely concerned about, like, certain characters living or dying. Oh, in the meantime, by the way, Boba has sent Fennec to Mos Eisley
to hunt the crime lords.
To lynch the Ithorian.
Yeah, to literally just take them out, assassinate them.
That was hard.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But we get this big fight scene. They're struggling to figure out how to defeat them. Chrysanthemum he starts to get through the shield. He starts to figure
with
it
his
out.
knuckle dusters.
And then my man just flicks him out of the way.
Die.
I thought that was pretty funny. But it goes to show these are intelligent droids.
Yeah, the
These are
droid
not-
really said die. Wait, what? There you go.
But yeah, I thought that was. They were actually menacing, and I was actually thinking, oh man, how are they going to take these things out?
Exactly.
I'm going to be honest with you. It took me a while to realize that Boba was going to get the Rancor.
I didn't realize what he was doing. at all.
I generally thought I was like, it's a bit late to go get Bosk and Dengar.
That's actually, I was like, is he going to get like
Mhm.
bounty hunters, like Bosk and everyone?
like I was like, it's a little late to do that, and I was like, if they do that,
a missed opportunity of the show.
I'm glad.
Where
I
were the
don't care.
cameos,
I'm
Lucasfilm?
so glad they didn't do that. It would have been like if there's just like Boba shows up with his Avengers and it's Bosk and it's Forlom and it's Dengar.
I think that would have been stupid.
it would have been so stupid.
It would have not fit into the story how it was written and presented to us. I feel like it
It-
would have been forced.
If that happened, I would have given that episode a 4, like a 4 rating.
Yeah, I think that it's so conflicting because I feel like we want cameos, but we don't. And then when we don't get them, we're disappointed we didn't get the cameos.
I'm not disappointed that we.
But
didn't
when we
them.
get the cameos, we're disappointed because there are too many of them. It's like, pick what you want. I just enjoyed the show for what it was.
I don't want you touching me. I hate you.
Oh, but I love you.
Okay, but at any rate, all I want to say though is that I wasn't able to watch the episode all the way through when it came out. Stop! I wasn't able to watch the episode all the way through when it came out. I had to stop and then pick it back up when Boba had just rode it on the Rancor. I was like, and then I had to pause it and then come back.
Yeah.
But that was an amazing part for me to leave.
He
out.
rides
Rode
in-
in on the Rancor.
And the Rancor just goes up to the droid, goes, "Oh!"
It was so good. It was so good. And then we get to see Din use the Darksaber on
Yes.
one of them.
That's pretty cool.
That was really awesome.
I just want to point out too that I'm going to say it again. And this is the last time I'll ever utter this thought. I was getting so excited with the Rancor, and it just the thought creeped up. I'm not even going to say what the thought was. All you collectors out there,
HasLab.
you know what
Oops,
the
did
thought
I
was.
say that?
Because I was watching it and I was like thinking to myself, like, oh, you guys suck. That's like what
I agree. I thought the same thing. I went, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about this on the podcast anymore. We
I am.
Beat it to the ground.
I am.
Just go ahead. Go for it, because you say it for
I
me.
won't comment.
Say it for me.
Don't make it long.
If you went online and preached that the Rancor was bad, you suck. You suck. I hope you get prostate cancer. Ta-da!
See, now these things you say are okay, because there's no way that could actually happen upon our doing.
Yeah,
That's kind of fast.
Now watch us get a DM. I thought the Rancor HasLab was bad. No moolah, hula, whatever. the heck it is.
Moolah, no moolah.
No
moolah.
moolah. I just got back from the doctors today and I have stage 3 terminal prostate cancer.
And you know what I would say?
Good.
I'd be like,
How about you piecemeal collection when you pass on?
I'd be like,
Put me in your will.
I'm like, dang, bro, I hope your collection's so expensive that you can't afford that chemo.
damn.
Anyway,
I'm about to roll up to your crib like Luke at the end of Return of the Jedi and steal all your stuff like he was Yoda.
Me rolling up to the state sale.
Okay, we should make this joke. That was too far.
okay.
No, it wasn't far enough.
So we get like the sequence, Cad Bane starts rolling up. And
Yes.
we get a sequence where the Rancor goes ham. I think my favorite was when he just smashed the one pike.
Yeah.
I know, I was
into the
like,
ground
He
and
goes,
Whoa.
he goes,
eats one. He throws one probably 3 kilometers away.
Yeah.
And it does the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
But we get this interaction
One of the most important parts of the show
with Cad Bane and Boba Fett.
that I would like to speak about.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jeff.
This is why I think arguably the Cad Bane and Boba Fett interaction is so incredibly important. And so it's tied through very well in the show as well. I feel like even the show's title, even connects in with this. So starting off with the arc of the Clone Wars, where you see Boba Fett trying to kill Mace Windu because he's obviously upset about Mace Windu killing his father. He's with Cad Bane and Aurra Sing, essentially.
Not Cad Bane.
Not Cad Bane isn't there?
No, just Aurra Sing.
Just Aurra Sing is with him?
Dang,
Yeah.
this doesn't fit in.
Pardon me.
Just like, dang, my point don't make sense no more.
Do you need a screwdriver?
No, it still makes sense.
Oh, my bad. Okay, no, but at any rate, in that whole sequence of the arc, we see Boba Fett constantly trying to become his father, trying to do the ruthless thing because his father was so feared throughout the galaxy, and he's only convinced in the end not to do it.
Let me just say one thing
Okay.
before you keep going. I think that Boba is finding himself in that Hondo refers to Jango as an honorable man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aurra Sing is the one that's hell-bent
That's the point that
on
I was
being
just about to make.
sadistic and everything like that. So
Yes.
I think that, yeah, so sorry. I just want to
Hondo-
make sure you were
yeah.
kind of saying that like Jango was like a ruthless killer,
It wasn't.
which I wanted to say I think he was more honorable.
Well, yeah, people will say that Jango was ruthless, but then Hondo obviously pulls him aside to be like, your father was a very honorable
Yeah.
man. That was the thing he would have done. And so I feel like, although Jango Fett was honorable, other people saw him for who he was as a bounty hunter instead. And so throughout Boba's entire life, he's living up to this expectation of, you are the son of Jango Fett. You were supposed to be this really high expectation that we have of you to be a killer and do all these things, you know, even the stuff that the people want to say is in Legends might be canon, blah, blah, blah. But like, that's the point that Cad Bane is confronting him about. He's saying that because you choose to be kind, you are weak, which you are not if you are kind. And that because you're not choosing to be a ruthless killer, that makes you stupid. So that's why I'm going to kill you. And then in the moment where Boba Fett gets the upper hand and Cad Bane challenges him again and Boba just ends it, he proves right then and there he is an honorable man like his father. He has chosen the greater good over the easier wrong. And that he has that higher calling of what he needs to do in the galaxy, and that he doesn't abide by, again, what all these people think of him as just a killer and doing all these evil things.
The entire show has been, you're just a bounty hunter.
Yes.
You're just a killer.
Mhm.
You just worked for the Empire.
Yes.
All of these assumptions that are being made about Boba Fett. You're soft.
Yes.
You're this. You're that. You're not respected. He's being told this by all these people, and it makes him question, did I make the right choice in like changing who I am? And now, through questioning that, like towards the end, he has this interaction with Cad Bane. You see that. You see that he has chosen to be who he is now.
Yes.
Through the lessons that he's learned through his life, through the flashbacks in the first episodes of the show. It all comes full circle. I'm going to be completely real with you. And so I was upset that Cad Bane died, but I liked how
It happened.
it had meaning for Boba Fett's story.
Yes.
Because Cad Bane is evidently Boba Fett's rival.
Mhm.
And that is implied. I think we'll see more of it as we get into the Bad Batch and other Star Wars properties. I know for a fact this will not be the last we see of a live-action Cad Bane.
Do you think so?
I think we'll see him in another property.
I don't.
You don't?
Maybe we will. Maybe we won't.
I feel like, because I feel like I'm the only one here that had a problem with the fight. I don't like, because I get that Cad Bane is a renowned duelist. I wanted to see some refinement within Boba's skill throughout this entirety. I just wanted to see that draw happen, and then I wanted to see Boba just hit Cad. I just wanted to see him dome Cad, because that's what he did in the Clone Wars. He was able to quick draw, and it was a draw. They both hit each other, but he still capped Cad Bane in that Clone Wars arc. It's like he survived. We know that now, but it's not like Boba did not possess the ability to quick draw on Cad Bane. It's not like that was like far-fetched of an idea. He definitely had the speed and the skill to do it. So to see Cad Bane pull up on him twice and just punk out Boba,
Also, not shoot him in the armor.
I thought was a little bit kind of like, oh yeah, but I guess Boba is getting a little bit weaker in his age. There was that thought. But then there was just the fact that it was very obvious that Boba had his gaffy stick on him. It's very obvious that a man like him would have some sort of short-range weapon on him the fact that Cad Bane got that close to seal the deal, in my opinion, was a little bit stupid. And
Because he was cocky.
well, yeah, but it's like he should have known better. There's no way that he would have been anticipated some way of him striking back. I thought it was just like, because Cad Bane is really smart. We see that time and time again. So like, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy that he would make a move like that. Because Cad Bane is a smart character. I just didn't see him making mistakes like that. Kind of that stupid.
I feel like he just got caught up in the moment of just trying to be like, I was your teacher all along and you're stupid that you didn't listen to my lessons and I'm going to punish you the hard way for it. Take that.
This reminded me of the interaction between Tobias Beckett and Han Solo in Solo, a Star Wars Story, where Tobias Beckett's like, this is your last lesson, kid. Always look out for yourself. And then he gets shot and Han Solo surprises him.
Yep.
He shoots him. And I mean, we all saw it coming because it's Han Solo in the timeline. We know what happens next. But
because Tobias expected himself to kill Solo instead.
He didn't see it coming. I mean, he killed friggin' Aura Singh. Like, he's not like just some chump. And Cad Bane isn't either. And I think that there's also the point that Cad Bane is very old.
Exactly.
At this point, he
needed to be outsmarted one day.
Yeah, and I think that it was bound to happen at some point.
Exactly.
I liked that they gave this as Boba's main antagonist. I think if it was just a fight between Boba Fett and the Pikes, I mean, yeah, they had the big scorpion droids, but that was about it. I think that it was good that he had an adversary that could match his level and could even be better than him. And I think that that's what Cad Bane... I think that's where Cad Bane's, like, I guess his hubris comes into play. As Cad Bane comes up to Boba, and he just goes, yeah, I've always been better than you. I've always been I've always been one step ahead of you. This isn't the first job that I've beat you to.
Exactly.
Like, they've always been rivals, and Cad Bane has always thought he's better than Boba.
His overconfidence gets to him.
He insults him. He's like, you got too much of your father in you. You know, like you just get too much of your father in you, all that stuff. And I think that I was sad to see Cad Bane go, because he's an awesome character, but I liked what it did for Boba's character.
Yeah.
It validated Boba Fett in the decisions that he's made, brought him to where he is now in the right way.
Yep.
I like, don't get me wrong, I like the way that Cad Bane died. I like that Boba does best him, and I like that it's just kind of, he gets his moment of standing over Cad Bane. I would have liked the execution to be a little bit different, rather than him. I would have liked Boba to strategically outplay Cad Bane to show that he was better.
Well, he did.
He did.
No, Cad Bane made a mistake. That's not thinking one step ahead and knowing what you're going to do. That's somebody making a mistake, and he just took advantage of it, which, I mean, is a good strategy.
Well,
but I would have
outsmarted him with the Tuscans' like techniques with the gaffy stick. He could have just unslung it and just tried going.
And okay,
like that.
This is
he
the
did
point
the
I want to
hook
make.
Trip technique
This is the
that
point.
He's taught.
This is it right here. Everyone thinks they know Boba Fett. Nobody actually knows who Boba Fett is as a person now.
Yeah.
Cad Bane thought he had bested Boba, and that's why he got cocky, was because he only knew Boba for who he was, which was a cold-blooded killer who worked for the Empire.
Yes.
And then Boba surprised him, and he pulls out the gaffy stick and does something completely out of left field that no one that thought they knew Boba Fett would have ever seen coming.
Exactly.
The only people that know Boba Fett for who he is now are Din Djarin and Fennec Shand. That's my argument to that. And I think that was a good way to put it.
I see like where you're coming from. And in the context of the show, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just I'm speaking from the context of who Cad Bane is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it didn't feel in line with his character to do something like that. Because in my opinion, I just thought I was like, Cad Bane of all people, I don't think would make a mistake like that.
That's fair.
Especially because it's like, we know that, okay, Cad Bane knows that he was with the Tuscans. He sees him riding with a gaffy stick.
But he doesn't think he knows how to use it.
But wouldn't that be your assumption? Why would, it's like a police officer walks around with a gun. You assume that officer knows how to use that gun. You see a soldier walking around with an M4. You assume they know how to use that M4. If you see a dude walking around with a giant metal club, you're going to assume he knows how to beat the crap out of you with said club. So I'm just saying, like, from a context of knowing who Cad Bane was in the Clone Wars, the guy that literally would outsmart and murder Jedi.
Stop touching.
I just thought it didn't make too much sense for him to get bested in the way he did. But within the context of the show and who Boba is, it's fine. I'm just saying, for me personally, I would have liked to see it different, but that's okay.
Whatever.
So then
I'll probably rewatch it and then be okay with it.
So then we have a sequence with the Rancor.
Yeah.
Absolutely obliterating the city. Major King Kong moment.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That was really neat.
very big parallel to King Kong.
Din tries to take care of the problem. He fails. We see Pelly. Is definitely a romance starting between her and the mayor's
I hate
assistant.
that. I hate that. I hate that.
I can't wait
so
to see him in
much.
Mandalorian season 3.
And
There you go.
basically, after that, the Rancor is wreaking havoc. He's, knocks Mando out, and then Grogu steps in and uses the Force to put the Rancor to sleep.
Mhm.
And then he takes a nap with the Rancor.
Yeah.
And then we see Fennec Shand absolutely assassinate everyone
Yes.
in the Pike's headquarters.
Mm-hmm. I like how we see her just deliberately hang the Ithorian. And it's not
Yes.
like an off-screen kill. You just see it happen.
That was really funny.
I thought that was... I feel like that was like the level of violence people really wanted out of the show. But
Yeah.
we kind of got it in some ways.
We definitely got it in some ways. Boba disintegrated somebody. We saw Mando chop somebody in half.
We saw him chase down the speeder bike gang and
Mow them
the
down.
fire spray.
It's still the Slave One. It's still the Slave One.
Mhm.
It is what
but,
it is.
No, so that was the point where I was gonna say I feel like the pacing was off. That was one of the moments that I most thought the pacing was a little weird, because she gets done, she kills everybody, she just goes, and then walks out, and then it's like they go in, and then it's like hunky dory, everything's fine. I was like, that part I feel like it didn't seem like it fit. I feel like it would have worked better if it was kind of like within the middle of the chaos of everything. If we saw it kind of like it would go like from Boba to Fennec, from Boba to Fennec, rather than just like the fight in Mos Espa's over and then it just cuts to it and then she just like cleans up the major heads in like less than 5 seconds and then she just kind of walks out and then everything's hunky dory. That was another thing where I was just kind of like the pacing just seemed a little bit weird for me, but
Meh.
And then we have our post-credit scene, which I kind of saw coming. I was like, is there going to be a post-credit scene?
we can't skip over the final little bit of the show where
What?
Boba says to Fennec, "I don't think we're cut out for this."
He says, I don't think you're cut out for this.
I don't think we're cut out for this.
I think he was talking just to her.
Mm.
Only watched it once, so I can't confirm. But yeah, I mean, in that part as well, we finally see the people
Mhm.
like respect Boba for being a leader. He doesn't walk around and nobody knows what he is. People acknowledge him that he's there.
Mm.
So through that conflict, he's finally gained respect to the community as daimyo
He
of
gets
Tatooine.
Kids give him a Melu run, and then we
Yes,
get to
from
see,
Rebels.
and then we get to see that little rabbit droid, servant droid again,
Yes.
standing next to Chrysanthemum at the very end.
How
But,
cute.
But yeah, and
Yeah.
so everything's cool. It's yeah.
And then the credits roll, and then the song's different, and they go, "Ha!" They go, "Fett!" And it's like, "Oh, cool."
And then you get the post-credit scene. We see that Cobb Vanth is in fact alive,
Yes.
and
In the
the
background.
mod artist is gonna mod him up.
Who also plays, I didn't know this because I saw it after the mod episode, like later, but the dude who's the mod artist, I guess plays Lionel. Well, Lionel, I don't forget how you pronounce it. Sorry. He's the live action Thundercat dude.
Oh, really? That's cool.
I saw somebody put Lionel. That's what I was thinking of. Sorry. But I didn't know there was the live action Thundercats.
That's dope.
Neither did I.
So I was kind of surprised, but
Yeah.
that was really cool. But
yeah,
That was like the final thing. I was just like, oh, I wish we would have saw a different closing scene for the credits. I wish it was something to allure to Kenobi, or something that was like more kind of like in your face for
Patience.
something more in your face for season 3 of
Mando.
Mando, because like the closing scene of season 2 is we see where Book of Boba is going. That didn't give us any hints to anything other than Cobb Vanth is alive and he's about to get robofied. But no, that's it. I feel like this is just like, I think my anticipation for this episode was too high. it's not like I had expectations. It was just I feel like I was just too excited for it.
Yeah.
And when it happened, there was just little things that I just kind of like was nitpicking. By no means am I like, oh, I hate this entire show now because of that one episode. Do say it's extremely freaking hard to come after seeing an extremely really good looking live action Luke Skywalker, 501st Troopers in live action again, Ahsoka Tano meeting her master's son, Mando reintroduced to Grogu, Yoda's lightsaber, all of that stuff. It's hard to follow. It really is. It was like, it's like you know how the Bills versus what other team was it? It was Bills versus the Chiefs was basically a better game than what the Super Bowl is gonna be. It's like, well, that was really good, and now we're gonna get something that's like it's the finale, but it wasn't as good as the other thing. So
it's an interesting take.
Yeah. I just think that episode was, because I saw it as one of the best pieces of Star Wars media I've ever seen. Period. So, yeah, I think it was I feel like my expectations were set a little bit higher because of how good the episode before it was. So that's probably why I was a little bit nitpicky about it. But
I think this show and The Mandalorian season 2 did this for me, but not to this degree. I liked Boba Fett as a character before these shows came out, but I never was crazy about Boba Fett. He was never like, oh, he's my favorite Star Wars character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, like, Boba Fett is now like my top 3 Star Wars characters.
Really?
This show has done so much for me with this character. As you can see, I have my Boba Fett helmet in front of me right now. I am just blown away by what this show has done with this character and how this show has made me love this character. I can't express enough how much of an appreciation I have for Boba Fett, and this show did for me what I never thought it could do for me.
Yeah, the ending, in my opinion, lived up to my hype. I mean, again, like I said, I loved every second of it. I wasn't trying to expect that it could follow the previous episode, and I was thoroughly happy with it when I finished it, and I'm really excited to watch it again for a second time this weekend when I finally get the time to do so. But other than that, I was fine with the finale. Loved it. But yeah,
and I think that concludes a very lengthy discussion of the finale of the Book of Boba Fett.
I think it was better in some ways that I had disagreements with you guys, because for the first time an episode wasn't just, yeah, it was super good, I liked it, yeah, it was super good. We actually had some
sort of really good discussion.
It was a discussive episode, and for once, which was interesting.
If you guys have any feedback you want to give us, you can feel free to drop it in the Discord, or you can feel free to drop it in, if you're watching on YouTube, in the comments below. Let us know what you thought. We'll reply to you. We can have a little bit of discourse about it, of the show, of the episode, whatever you want.
And this discussion has taken an hour, and we haven't even gotten to the rest of our topics.
Well, I feel like the Black Series is going to go quick. I'm going to be completely honest. Let's just not talk about it for eons.
Well, let's talk about it for as long as we want to talk about it.
It's the podcast. I'm going to talk about it however long I want to talk about it.
It's a podcast. We'd be podcasting, Jackson.
So let's talk about...
I need to go to sleep.
Yeah, so do I, but let's...
I'm going to kill you all.
Okay, so let's get into some Star Wars news. So, earlier...
Be done with him!
Okay, but anyway, the same day that we were recording this, we got the Kenobi poster.
I did not expect it to come out the same day that the finale for the Boba Fett show came out.
I expected it to come out next week.
It is coming out May 25th, will be the first episode, which is a Wednesday. I think it's kind of odd that they wouldn't slate the show to debut on May 4th, because May 4th is on a Wednesday. But
maybe we'll get another trailer.
I mean, same thing happened with Solo. And what came out in like May 26th or something.
Yeah, I think it was an odd choice, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. So, there's not much else to say for that. I think we've already discussed our hype for the show.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing else to add.
It was we got our first actual look of what Kenobi's
going to look like.
Yeah, what he's going to look like in the show. So that's pretty neat.
Still got his Jedi robes.
Yeah. And another little tidbit of news.
Rex not related to our show.
Yeah, Rex and Around is actually going to be posting a episode this week.
On Friday. So by the time our episode goes up, he'll already have his up.
Yep, so that'll be cool. Also, when this episode goes up, it'll be Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to you all.
Hopefully you were not a lonely Star Wars nerd and that you were able to spend the day with somebody.
And if you didn't, That's okay.
That is evidently okay. You don't
Valentine's
need
Day-
to have a partner to be happy
Hopefully
in
you
life.
spent Valentine's Day with your real love, a Star Wars movie.
Valentine's Day is kind of an
Facts.
overrated holiday in my opinion, because
It's
if you
pig.
if you
holiday.
genuinely like,
Shut up.
in my opinion, if you like genuinely care about the person that you're with, you would be doing things to show that all the time, and not
Yes.
just one day out of the year.
But Tommy, it's an excuse to give and get presents. Yeah.
In chocolate. Anyways.
Chocolate.
Oh,
That's
side
why
note
there's
real
so
quick.
many December birthdays.
Side note real quick too, for the news, Fortnite has released more Book of Boba Fett skins.
I
They now
know.
have Fennec Shand and Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum.
And seeing Chrysanthemum do Fortnite dances is probably one of the funniest things that I've ever witnessed.
So loony.
It is so funny, and I just want to point that out. I don't play Fortnite, but I thought it was worth mentioning.
I didn't think that those were real when I
It is
saw it.
so funny.
I didn't think that they.
Yeah, they're
oh
here.
no!
Boba was already in it, but
Boba was in it, and then we got now there's Fennec, and then there's what else? We got Mando, Chrysanthemum,
Stormtrooper,
Rey, Stormtrooper,
Kylo.
and Kylo Ren. I
and
think
Finn is in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
he is.
Anyways,
Probably.
but we also had bonus bounties this week, and bonus bounties revealed a Black Series figure that none of us expected to see, and it is perfect in every way.
Is-
A deluxe Dark Trooper 6-inch figure.
The only thing that's not perfect about it is its $40 after tax and shipping price tag.
Other
But-
than that, though, the figure looks phenomenal. It came with
Hands.
the one thing that I never thought it would come with: the punchy hands.
Wow, accessories on a deluxe figure, unheard of.
It looks massive too. I guarantee
Yeah.
it's gonna be like huge,
Chewbacca
like
height.
Zeb sized.
Yeah.
But I think it's dope. I think it has the fact that it has the jet booster like boot effect is
Mhm.
awesome as well. They did not have to do that.
Mhm.
It looks phenomenal, and I can't wait to see it in 2027 when it finally gets released.
Yep.
Just kidding. But yeah, I think that about wraps up Star Wars news.
Other than the entire new wave of Black Series coming out.
Do you want
and
to talk
the
about your
live
Lego
stream.
news first?
Yeah, you got
Oh.
Lego news.
Lego
Lego
We're gonna
news.
talk about
There's a lot of
all,
Wax series.
all of the helmet sets are now up for pre-order on Lego.com.
Oh
You
wait,
can-
seriously?
Yep, you can get them all right now for pre-order. They come out March 1st.
Oh my gosh.
And if you want to get them all in one purchase, it equates to $170.
Bruh.
So I will be waiting to get those.
I'm gonna probably pre-order Mando.
Um,
I'm excited for that.
I want to get them all in big one big lump sum, so that way I can get all the Lego points off of it.
Smart.
I
Smart
signed
man.
up for Lego VIP Club as well.
I always got my identification on me. If you didn't know, this necklace is a keychain that you got for getting. I got it with the Razor Crest, $100 or more. It was like just a keychain, and I turned it into a necklace. It has Lego VIP on the back.
Nice.
But yeah, those are all out, and then we've also gotten in-depth photos of the Jabba's
Ooh,
Palace
Jabba's
set.
Palace. Looks pretty cool.
It's coming with Fennec, Boba, Bib Fortuna, these guys that we see.
Quarren.
And I think like another alien. I can't
A
remember.
couple other aliens.
Yeah. So it looks like a small play set. There's that, and then we got the better looks at the Luke Skywalker hallway scene, which is going to come with 3 of the Dark Troopers.
That's a very well done set. I
that
will
set looks
say.
very nice.
It's very pretty.
So yeah, those are this sucks. I have to get every single set that's coming out in March. And then also, this is not Star Wars, but they came out with a Lego set for Thor's hammer.
Looks
Yeah.
sick.
That also drops March 1st.
That looks amazing.
I was also thinking about
Did you
getting
see the
that.
post I sent you about the sets coming out in June in
Uh,
the summer? Actually,
I don't
Lego
think
Star Wars?
don't think I did.
oops,
Oops, wrong account. Let me check real quick.
There was
quick.
some
Let me
sets
check
in there.
real
It was
quick.
from
Let
Lego
me check
Fulcrum.
real quick. Let me check.
See, I'm more
real
up on the
quick.
Lego news than Jacob is actually up on. Never mind, it's in the Star Wars group chat, not your personal
Well,
DMs.
It's because I'd be not on Instagram that much anymore. I don't be. Well, what are you referring to? Oh,
No way.
7 hours ago,
Yeah.
Lego BD1 for $100.
Look at that! Look at that!
ATTE. Oh my gosh! Lego Jedi Starfighter. Another ATST.
But the ATT.
Jet Bait ship.
Okay, that's the post I was trying to send you. All the ships, well, all the sets for summer. I'm getting an ATTE. I will spend $100 that it is.
Cad Bane's ship will be 1,022 pieces. It's still unknown what ship they are talking.
$160.
There's that. There's a ATST.
The 4+
Oh,
set.
it's gonna be a tiny baby set. Jedi Starfighter probably for Attack of the Clones.
Probably Obi-Wan's.
ATTE probably for Attack of the Clones. Oh my gosh, that set hasn't been out since 2012. Oh
That
my
means we
gosh.
got-
BD1, Lego said that they were never going to do a Jedi Fallen Order set. And now that we're actually getting a buildable BD1 is making me quite excited. When Lego decided
Lego Kaminoans.
we might see some Lego Kaminoans in a set. What could that be part
The
of?
Starfighter. It'll be Obi-Wan's Starfighter.
Yeah, maybe will be the fight scene on Camino.
I am
Now I have to buy more Lego clone build-up packs so I can fill my
now
ATTE.
I'm looking
That's why
at
they did the clone build-up pack.
I need to buy another. I get paid. Oh my gosh, I need more.
so now we're looking at this is how much it's gonna cost me to get all these sets. We're looking at $100, 30, so 130.
Why is Cad Bane's ship 160?
Because it's gonna be big. So out of the sets that I just revealed, we're looking at $290 plus the $100 for the sets that are coming out in March. I will not be able to keep up with my Marvel Legends, so I will be selling that collection promptly. DM for
Buy, sell, trade in the Discord?
Yep. DM for news about that.
That's
Wow.
so exciting.
Dude, I did not realize there was going to be an ATTE set.
Let's go!
Uh-oh. I think the camera died.
Huh?
I think that you ran out of space on your SD card.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I don't know how long we haven't been on any camera for, but we no longer have camera.
Well,
And that's just how it's going to be because Tommy was a moron and forgot.
Gosh
you want
dang
me to
it.
clear some space real quick?
No, we'll just keep going. It's just Black Series to talk about.
Yeah, we're just showing pictures anyway.
So,
It's
hello, everybody.
recording at the top still.
yeah, but it says no camera.
Yeah, it means that you can't take a picture.
Huh?
I think it's still recording.
Well, I guess we'll find out in post-production.
Jacob, don't throw it back because
Jacob, don't go back. You're going to get me salivating and
fantasizing about
All right. So let's get into,
Black
now that we
Series.
have some exciting Lego news, let's get into some disappointing Black Series news.
That is today was quite frankly a pretty awful day. This made my day. I am so happy.
That's happy.
I am over the moon. My wallet is currently crying, but it's okay.
Okay, guys, let's talk about the Black Series. There's quite a bit of Black Series news. We
Yes.
already covered the Dark Trooper.
Mm-hmm.
Tython Boba, the Walmart exclusive,
Had
was
a good
available for
pre-order.
pre-order. Jackson, he pre-ordered mine for me. So how was that experience for you?
Literally perfectly fine. There was links available for it. It was up for so long because nobody wanted it. And this is the first time I will genuinely say this and mean it. It is an exact repaint of the other Book of Boba figure that we are going to get, just a different paint design. And frankly, I didn't buy it for myself because when I buy a figure for my collection, I want to have something that I will enjoy and play with. I don't want to have 50 variations of Boba Fett. I feel like we are getting killed in Boba Fett toys right now. Out of the Basement made that a really good point in one of their previous videos, but I'm just not with it. Because again, I don't want to have an army of Bobas in my collection. I mean, does Tython Boba look cool? Sure. But again, at the end of the day, I just don't see it being in my collection, and I'm not upset about it either.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm excited because I'm gonna put him on my Mandalorian shelf,
Yeah.
like with my Mandalorian figures.
That'll look cool.
And then I can put my Book of Boba one separately.
Mhm.
So I will say there was that, and then we had a Fan First Wednesday. As of today was the day it came out as we're recording this.
Yes.
It was I kind of thought it was a dud. Normally I try to be pretty positive about the Black Series, but I was
agree.
kind of unimpressed with the reveals.
Well, I thought it was really good and how it fit with the story and everything.
Shut up.
Get it?
So
I was in class, so I didn't get to watch it. So I saw all the after stuff when I was walking to my car to go to work.
They
but it was
started off
trash.
by just kind of like reviewing some of the products that got shown off for different bonus bounty days, like the Bo-Katan helmet and some of the other stuff. But then they, I guess, re-revealed or like showed off the Gaming Greats Arc Trooper from Battlefront 2, which we already knew about. And then they talked about a new figure, which is another Gaming Greats figure from Jedi Fallen Order, the Night Brother Archer.
Not good timing.
I feel like I'll get into it at the end, why I'm kind of flustered about the whole thing. I think the figure looks good. Will we get it? I don't know.
In summary, we're upset because we pre-ordered the other Night Brother figure, and then GameStop collectively canceled everybody's order, and then people overseas are getting it, and then without addressing it whatsoever, they said, here's another Night Brother figure. It's just the fact that we feel pushed aside and like not cared about as a fan community, as a purchaser of your product, Hasbro, because you're not addressing the problems that are so very obviously happening with your company and your distribution. And there's also very little to no information about what's going on with the distribution. And then when you ask about it, you get yelled at. Recently, my dad asked about the figure as to why it was canceled, the Night Brother. And when the lady, he did like one of those voice chat things or like the text, like a representative. And he was like, hey, I just wanted to know, is this ever getting released? Are we ever going to get it? Is anybody going to get it? And first, the person was like, we aren't allowed to discuss stuff about the distribution. And then he asked, do you know if it will be in stores anytime soon? And the person replied with, and I quote, did you not read what I just said? Very professional to get from a GameStop employee. Very professional when you're actually inquiring about a product that you purchased months in advance just for it to be canceled on.
No, we pre-ordered this early last year.
Yes.
This figure has been in existence for almost a year.
I feel like this is
at
something
the same time it came out with the Flame Trooper.
Yes.
This is something that we need to go to Hasbro about, and we need to, because everybody just complains online. We need to make a headache for Hasbro because Marvel Legends doesn't have this problem.
G.I.
Joe doesn't have this problem.
Transformers, Power Rangers.
Even freaking Fortnite doesn't have this problem. It's only Star Wars that's really getting shafted in the way it is.
I feel like with this sort of an issue, it's not Lucasfilm's fault. It's not something at the corporate level of Hasbro is just, there's the chain of command just isn't working the way it's set up right now. And I don't know if there was like some sort of like promotion or like, something happened way at the top where now the communication is all kind of all over the place. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't expect the people that do the Star Wars streams to have all the answers.
No, but I do expect them to have some level of being able to address the concerns of people.
And that's coming from Hasbro. Hasbro gives them the script of what to say.
Yes.
And they're just blatantly not doing it.
Like in today's stream, they asked them about the newest wave of the Black Series figures, which are in the hands of Target right now and being distributed. And people
it's not just one instance.
No.
It's happening in Targets all over the Midwest.
It's all over the Midwest, and now it's on the East Coast already.
Yeah, and then they asked about it, and then Patrick said, it's not in stores. It's not in Target at all.
Yeah, they said that this product was not available at all in any capacity.
So either he just didn't know or he's lying. So the problem is that there's a severe lack of communication going on at Hasbro, and I'm tired of just the excuse coming up to, well, COVID it's disrupting the supply chain.
It isn't.
That's
COVID.
BS. Because if you just keep pointing it at COVID, then I can be like, oh, I didn't do my homework. It was COVID. Oh, I didn't. I murdered my mom, but COVID made me do it. It's like, it's stop blaming everything on the biggest scapegoat of this century. It wasn't COVID. Please give us, we are giving you money. We are what keep you in business. The least you can do is tell me where my stuff is. If I'm ever going to get it. If there's don't say that these figures will release at the beginning of 2023. Say, we would like it to release this day, but because of this, and this, it might get postponed. Or if a figure was supposed to come out, I don't know, last year, like the 2/12 figure, address it.
Say
Please,
something.
it's in the United States. We know this. It's hit your warehouse. We have proof of it. Mention it. This figure was supposed to come out a year ago.
And it's already in Canada and everywhere else.
Everywhere else in the world has it. The United States doesn't have it, and you refuse to address it?
And it's not situations where, oh, I got it from someone in Hong Kong. No. We just had to have a chat with Papa Gord, who bought it in Canada.
Yes.
In stores.
Canada, which is on the same continent as the States. I don't know what's going on specifically with the States with all these problems with figures.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because Canada's not having this issue. They got the Night Brother. They got the 212.
And I'm not the only other thing I see experiencing any sort of shipping issue is cars. But that's because that all the parts that we need are in China and that they're not getting sent over.
Microchips.
Yeah. So it's like, that's the only other thing I see getting this. It's only action figures that are really getting the short end of the stick here. And it's only Star Wars figures. I don't get it. Marvel Legends is so good about everything. They're like, hey, they'll do a figure drop and they'll be like, they'll be up for pre-order today. And then they'll be up for pre-order and then they'll go back up for pre-order later, even on Hasbro's website. So that way you don't miss out. And then they stay on the fan channels for like a millennia. Why is it that there's only so limited quantities of Star Wars figures? Why is there a lack of communication within the Star Wars community? Why is it that just Star Wars in general is getting the short end of the stick? We need to get some form of vocalization from Hasbro to address it. Because let's be honest, as a company that makes as much as they do, and they're upping their prices each month, it feels like now, they have to address this. Like, they have to. The only way I could see like any change happening is if, as a community, we all just vehemently start bugging them, start blowing up their phones, sending them emails. Because once you start inconveniencing a person, then it becomes their problem and then they have to address it. Just us sitting here online and being like, oh, Hasbro, I want my figure sometime soon. Can you let me know? It's not doing anything. You want to know why? Because at the end of the day, Hasbro is still making their money. So we need to do something as a community to actually make some sort of uproar. Like, because we're not getting anything solved just by sitting here on the podcast and complaining about it. Because I know one thing for sure, Hasbro does not watch our podcast.
So here's like where I'm going to talk about let's get through the rest of the reveals of the like Fan First Wednesday.
Yep.
So the next thing they did was, I'm going to kind of skip over the TVC stuff just because we're not TVC collectors.
Yep, that's fine with me.
TVC got some really cool stuff, I will say that.
They got Anakin 501st and a playset. Wow. Anyway.
They showed off the archive wave, which they pipelined a while ago, and it's Dengar and Palpatine and
C-3PO
and
Skiffguard
Lando.
Yeah.
They showed off the figures. They look cool, whatever, but we knew about those.
Yeah.
Then they
spent pipelined another archive.
This archive wave that they just pipelined is the biggest brick I've ever seen.
Okay. They did the Force Awakens Han Solo, which, okay, give him the photo reel. Okay.
Already looks like a good figure.
A New Hope Chewbacca, which, if I'm not mistaken, Chewbacca looks fine.
Yeah.
Yep,
and he's not expensive on the aftermarket.
They're literally just taking the Ninja Wookiee Gaming Greats figure and throwing it in another package.
And then they are archiving Grand Moff Tarkin.
Which already looks phenomenal. I have him right behind me.
And then they're also archiving, what was the fourth one? This is how much of a brick it is, because I don't even remember.
Bouche Leia.
Okay.
Bouche Leia is one that people need.
That's one that I could see. That's one that I could see. But
that
the
is
other
the
three,
only acceptable one in this wave.
It's like, dude.
The rest are three figures that don't need re-release because you can either get them for below market price.
Yes.
They already look good. It's like, there is no reason for you to remake it because it's selling online for less than its value.
No one's been shouting to the hills for any of these figures except for Leia.
Yeah. Everyone shouts to the hills for the Redbox Rex re-release that I guess will never happen. Just archive Rex. It got
pushed back to December of 2022.
I know, that's how bad this stupid thing is.
So this is what's...
But yeah.
So then they came out and then they pipelined 3 more Black Series figures for, I'm assuming, the main line.
And very cool figures, I will admit. And I'm happy we're going to get them.
This is Ayla Secura.
Very cool.
Darth Maul from Season 7 of the Clone Wars.
I've wanted that.
Yes.
And what was the third one? It was...
Saw Gerrera.
We were always asking for Saw Gerrera.
Which we all want those figures.
And then...
Why is it coming out in 2023?
So then they say these figures will be available in spring of 2023. And keep in mind, that is probably available for pre-order, not available to get. Now, That's a whole nother thing. I think that I like the pipeline idea,
I
but I
hate
don't
it.
like doing
I
it so far in advance.
I agree.
Now, I
'Cause
think too.
This is what they're doing for pipelines. A thought crosses their head. We should do that. And then they pipe. That's what their pipeline is. It's just an idea.
Mhm.
It's not like this is an update on products that are going to be coming in the near future. It's products that are going to come in the next 10 years.
And
You will have a wife and kids by the time these figures come
No.
out, people.
Yeah.
And then they just flashed up a couple more figures that have been in limbo for a while. They pull up Muddy Mando and go, yeah, so you can buy this in March. And
Not
then they
pre-order.
flash up.
Not pre-order. It will be buy it now, which I
Yes.
like. Give us more buy it nows and not
but
pre-orders.
give us
Pre-orders
some
suck.
stock. Give
Yes.
us stock to buy.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
then they literally, if you watch the stream, they flash up pictures maybe 1 second at a time of all the figures that are in Wave 32, and they go, hey, these go up for pre-order on Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Oh,
and
after
they will be showing up in August of this year.
way after they
How?
said that's all for this stream, guys. We're all done here. People leave the stream. Oh, by the way, these figures are going up tomorrow. Guess what? There's now hundreds of people that just don't know that those figures are coming up because they're not sitting on their phone looking at Yak Face every 5 minutes.
Not everybody is like
Not
us.
everybody has
Yes.
the time to do that.
I barely have the time of day to do it as it is.
I agree.
And so here's where I'm at as a customer. So like Jackson does, and he's talked about it before, I
Mhm.
log a list of all of my pre-orders that I
And
have.
I can't even
where
log
I
mine
got them
anymore.
from, how much they cost, when the expected day they would
Yes.
come in is. That way so I can make sure I have money put aside. But I have expenses, and I also have things that I need to take care of financially. I have bills to pay. I have things that I need to pay for, like real life stuff, but I also want to collect the Black Series. And what
Mhm.
Hasbro has done over the course of the last 18 months, and they're continuing to do it, they just keep revealing figures and they throw a pre-order at you. They reveal figures and then they throw a pre-order at you. And then these figures are sitting on pre-order and on back order for over a year.
Yes.
And then there's cases where your order just gets canceled. And whether that's because of Target or because of GameStop or whatever's going on, as a customer, I'm looking at this list going, it appears that I'm going to have to cancel some of these pre-orders that I've had for over a year now, because at the time I had the money to pay for those figures, but because it took so long and because these companies don't just take my money when I pre-order the figure, they wait until the figure drops, until it ships, which is stupid.
Yeah, I really don't like that idea anymore.
I used to be like, they don't have my money until my figure is on the way. But now it's the fact that if I'm not keeping up to date and I don't have, because some of us don't have the ability to have a metric butt ton of money in my checking and savings at the same time. Sometimes I have to pull money out of my savings to throw into my checking. Because you know why? I'm a broke college student.
And this is like...
It's
Yes.
a problem. Because I want you to just take it up front, because when I pre-order, I look at my bank account. I make sure I have the money to pre-order it, and then I pre-order it. But guess what? In a year, money comes and goes. You
Yes.
need to take it, and then if you cancel it, refund it. Just
It's
refund it. I don't get pre-orders
Yes.
should be able to be, this is about how many people are going to buy this product. We should make about this many and then some excess so we can send to the stores.
Exactly.
Not, let's sell out of a pre-order. How the frick does that work? It's a pre-order. It's not even made yet. It's not even made yet.
The product isn't even manufactured.
Yes.
Why do you only and then they're like, I feel like they try to make it so it's like, there's only so many units, so it holds value in the aftermarket. That's dumb.
They don't make any
The
money on
You don't
aftermarket
make money
exists
off the
because of
aftermarket.
us. If nobody liked Rex would be $5 or less still. Rex is only popular because people choose to have Rex be popular.
And this is where I'm at with as a customer. This isn't about, I don't like the characters they're releasing or blah blah blah.
It's the function
This-
of the company that sucks.
This is where I'm at with it. And
Yeah.
I speak so highly of Hasbro sometimes, but this is where I'm seriously, as a customer, I'm like, please, I want you to listen to what I'm saying as a customer. It's not just me complaining and telling you you're a terrible company. You make amazing products.
Yes.
And very clearly, if you haven't looked around,
we like your product.
we would like
Just
to buy
tell
them.
us what's going on.
And so I'm literally, it sucks because I have these figures that I've been wanting for so long, and because I things pop up. Now I don't have the money that I once had
Then you're
to
screwed.
pay for these figures. So now I just have to cancel the pre-orders because I just can't get the figures.
Watch me change my major to business so I can try to work at
I
Hasbro.
just can't get it, and that's what
Yeah.
bothers me so much. Is like I feel disenfranchised as a customer, and then the worst part is you try to talk to this company and try to communicate with this company, and you never get an answer.
No,
never.
it's the fact that they just blatantly
don't
ignore
care.
us. Okay, so here's what I propose to do. We're gonna start it with this community of people that watch us. And please, I know you at least have one friend that collects. There's no way that you don't. You have a Discord. You have people on social media. Please, we need to spread this out. Let's get something started. Just once a day, send an email to Hasbro and ask them where figures are. Ask them about the 212. If we can do it, if we have enough people do it, and we have enough people every day,
Oh, hey,
if they're just getting bombarded, then
I saw
Are
that.
you ready for this? As of 26 minutes ago,
26
Yep,
minutes
I
ago,
saw
what
that.
happened?
Post, I
the new
didn't wanna
pricing
talk.
for regular Black Series figures is $24.99.
Why?
Oh, thank you for raising the price on the figures that we're not even getting. You don't deserve the money, Hasbro. I am fed up. You don't deserve the money because you are failing us as customers. Your products are cool, but your supply chain sucks. Your communication sucks. Your ability to act as a company is freaking garbage.
Customer service sucks.
Customer
Yes.
service sucks. You don't deserve the ability to raise your prices just because, things are getting a little bit more expensive.
COVID.
Because COVID. You suck, Hasbro. This is why I like collecting Legos so much more. Because at least when I go to get Lego, I'll complain about minifigures and stuff and something stupid like that. But at least I
Trivial
know
things.
I'm gonna get my product. At least I know when that product is coming out and when I will be able to buy it. Hasbro is just like, you'll get it when you get it. You can't operate like that as a company. And the only reason you can is because you've built this mega $1 million franchise over the past 10 years on Star Wars products when you were good, when you would actually come out with products on a consistent basis of people that you actually wanted to see. But now you've just decided, we're just gonna, if we just throw all cares to the wind, it's way cheaper to do that because we don't have to pay people to talk about it. We don't have to pay people to research where the figures are. We don't have to pay people to do anything. It's way cheaper for us to just not care at all. Aha, sucks for you. You're still buying it. And we look like chumps for doing
We
it.
all are
Yep.
buying. And my thing
See ya.
is, maybe
I'm mad.
they shouldn't have exclusivity on Star Wars action figures.
No.
Maybe
Because maybe
The Star Wars license should be handed to another company, period. Give it to McFarlane,
I
give
think
it to
should
someone
be an
else.
EA situation where other companies can have the chance to take their shot.
Yes.
Because very clearly, unless we get some answers, like I really think that Hasbro is dropping the ball right now. And this is not me trying to none of us are trying to cause drama. We're genuinely upset because we genuinely
Yes.
we posted a TikTok on Sunday where me and Jacob were doing like a TikTok dance with
shout out, check that out if you haven't. It's blowing up.
it has over
Yes.
20,000 views, and I've had multiple comments that I've responded to. People are asking, what are those helmets? Where can I get those helmets? And you know what I say in all the replies? These are Hasbro's Black Series helmets. They're awesome, they're detailed, and they're not too expensive. That's what I say. I talk them up because I love this helmet.
Yes, the
I
helmets
love
are
this
great.
product. This 501st Black Series Clone Trooper right here, I love this figure.
Yes.
This is awesome. This is something that I've always wanted for my collection. And I love the products, and that's where my frustration comes from is
Mhm.
I'm a paying customer. I am loyal to the company because I'm constantly coming back and buying your products. And when people trash on the company for stupid stuff, I always come out and say,
We defend you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But now that you've left us in limbo over something that's serious,
and then
it's just-
raise the prices.
and raise the prices as we're talking about how you're dropping the ball. It's just, of course we're gonna
And
be
do you
mad.
want to know how
Yeah.
I found out about the prices being raised? Not from Hasbro.
Not from
From Yak
an
Face.
independent collector.
who
that
runs an Instagram channel. Do you know how stupid that is? If for me as a consumer to get all of my information from Instagram, not from you, you suck,
From
Hasbro.
a
You-
random
look
guy
at-
From a
look me in the
random
in the
dude in
Midwest.
Minnesota.
Look me in the eye, Hasbro. I'm coming up. So this is This is personal.
This would be really funny if the camera wasn't
You
working.
suck, Hasbro. That would be terrible. You suck, Hasbro. Want to know why? Because I can get better
think it's still
information
working.
out of
It's tracing our
Instagram than
faces.
your
Really?
entire
Yeah.
company.
It's zooming out on his face and it's identifying our faces still. So I
Interesting.
think it is. Because
Yeah.
here's my thing as well. Hasbro's not running a realistic business model. When they think about the time frame of a product, they think about
it's only
themselves.
with Star Wars.
No, but
It's
okay,
only
hear
with
me out.
Star
Hear me
Wars.
out. So they think about the time frame of a product. That employee who is working at Hasbro will continue to work at Hasbro probably for the next 20 years. So if a figure is delayed by a year or two, not that big of a deal to them because they will continue to sit at their office job. Where this time for us is precious. By the time I graduate and commission into the army, there will be figures that I will have still had on pre-order that I might not get. I might not have the opportunity to collect anymore once I just go away because I will no longer have that freedom. So it's very upsetting to me as a collector who wants to be able to have these figures that make up such a crucial part of my childhood that I love so much to just almost be taken away from me for the sake of greed and for the sake that these people refuse to see it from the collector's point of view. Like again, I will be done with my 3rd year of college by the time we probably get that season 7 Clone Wars mall. And that's the reality of it. It's like, are you serious? Maybe just don't talk about this stuff so far in advance because you do it to make yourself seem so high and mighty because, oh, we're actually going to make this figure.
We're making this figure that
Saw
you
Gerrera
wanted.
last year. Why isn't he coming out this year if you pipelined him last year?
And
Last year
then
would have been
don't
the
bother
perfect year
pipelining.
to do it. Want to know why?
And Ayla Secura should come out this year for Attack of the
Rogue One.
Clones, not next year. It's not the anniversary
I mean,
of Attack
evidently
of the Clones
Lego
next
is
year.
doing things for Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary, so we know Lucasfilm
Has
is
approved-
aware that there's a 20th anniversary.
Yes.
So it's not Lucasfilm. It's not, that just Lego just happened to release multiple Attack of the Clones sets.
Yes.
And it's a little easier for Lego due to the fact that it's a building set. They have the the pieces that they need to complete something. It's not like they have to
Right.
make a new mold, which I get when Hasbro, they're like, oh, we have to do the color right. We have to do the mold right. But Lego has to go through these same processes too. It's
Sometimes
just
Lego screws up, like the Boba Fett minifigure.
like the Boba Fett minifigure with the helmet that has not the same color as the rest of the chest, or the fact that the Bad Batch shuttle is blue when it's not blue in the show.
Okay, I
I
like
don't
the color
care.
of
I
blue.
like the color of it. The fact that we haven't got a Phase 2 Commander Cody minifigure. All I'm gonna say is you can do a new Phase 1 Commander Cody minifigure in some of these sets. That would be pretty cool. But no, it's just a lack of planning, and it feels like it's a lack of care.
And that's
Because compared to Marvel Legends, Hawkeye was coming out as a show, and they showed off their digital renders of Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, and they said these figures are in the works. And you want to know what they didn't do? They didn't put them up for pre-order when you only had a digital picture of them, which is exactly what Star Wars would have done.
And it's just, the thing is, it's very evidently at the corporate level. That's what I said before. This is there's something going on at the corporate level of Hasbro with whoever's in charge of and again, I don't know the inner workings of the company, so this is just me throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks. This is just my hypothesis. But you've got these people who are supposed to be listening to the community and putting out products, and they do sometimes. They put out some great product. Look at this freaking helmet.
And
It's
sometimes
sick.
they do listen to the community. I'm just going to bring it up. With the Rancor, they added that Rancor Keeper figure last minute because so many people were so unhappy about it.
Mhm.
So it's not like they're deaf. It's not like they don't hear us. I just feel like they're purposefully ignoring us at this point, which is really upsetting. So please, tell your friends, your family, email Hasbro.
It's time for a change.org petition.
No, we're not even.
Not
Petitions
that.
don't work.
No, they
Please email Hasbro, bother them on Twitter, bother them on Instagram, shoot them DMs, email them, call their customer service. Because the only way that this is going to get fixed is if we bother them. Because if we just sit here on the internet, it doesn't really affect them because we're not directly speaking to them.
Yeah.
If we start directly speaking to them, that's the only way that we're going to make a change. I feel like that's enough said on this product,
Yeah,
kind
I
of topic. We've kind of moaned about it for 30 minutes now. So But that is that all
That's
for
the end.
that for we got weekly
We
pickups.
got weekly pickups.
Oh, dang,
as you
okay.
can see, Jacob already talked about it last week, but I now have my Boba Fett helmet, and I got something that they've already shown off too. I finally got my archive
Yes.
501st clone.
We got the second half of the Darth Maul saber from Clone Wars. If you could pass me a blade real quick, it'd be quite a
Can we
dearie.
hit the lights?
Sure. It's not gonna matter.
The blade looks so nice,
If
though.
the camera's off, it won't matter. But
Yeah,
we don't know.
It's because these lights are all here, Tommy.
oh,
But no. Glows red. I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's an open crystal chamber. You can see the Kyber crystal. This is Ventress's saber, part 2 of Darth Maul saber. Very cool, very nice. It's a Disney saber, so it's not like the blade effects or anything to cry about and be like, this is awesome, because let's be honest, they're not. You come here to get the hilts.
I have a pickup. Forgot it. It's in my room. I'm not gonna get it. It's Archive Obi-Wan. Finally came from Pulse. Before the fan channels even. I had pre-ordered another 501st Trooper through Dorkside and it's not coming.
Mhm.
And at this point I'm just gonna cancel it and just buy a knockoff 501st from AliExpress because I like the Clone Wars style.
Yep, and I once again forgot to bring my ambient pulse rifle Nerf gun. Sorry about that. Hand me the... Okay. We got a little TVC pickup. A buddy of mine got me this for Christmas. It was the Rogue One Darth Vader. Very cool. Just a little thing to put on the wall. I got a new NECA figure. This is the remake of Friday the 13th. Q, pass me that box. So this is a great... Hasbro, you should take notes. This is a great thing that you should do for a figure. This figure costs $30 flat. And it comes with the figure, removable mask, another head, an axe, another hand, an ice pick, screwdriver, poker, and a machete. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things that can, 9 things that can just come off the figure. Maybe you should like do that and not make it, just 2 extra hands and 2 flame pieces and it costs $40, Hasbro. You kind of suck for that. But no, this figure's pretty cool. It was, I like the newer Friday the 13th a little bit better than the originals. And I'm only going to say that because it's a little bit more action packed. And I just like seeing Jason rather than Jason's mom. So, yeah, the mask comes off. Look how ugly he is. Mask stays on. And then last but not least, we got the Power of the Force Rancor.
We've showed this off already.
We showed this off on the stream with Papa Gord. Because we didn't get a HasLab, at least we have this one. So when I get my TVC Tatooine Boba Fett, I will take him out of that box and I will set him on top of this. Because that's where he belongs. And golly gosh darn, wish we would have been able to do that with a HasLab. But I'm not even going to get started. I think that's all for today's episode.
This is definitely the longest that we've ever done a weekly episode.
This is it's the most, not unfortunately. I feel like there's
it
a
was
lot
a
of
really good episode.
It was good.
It had a lot of discussion in it, and we really strongly showed off how we feel about the areas of the stuff that we collect.
Yep.
This concludes the Book of Boba and our Book of Boba topics, unless we decide.
Oh, hey. If you're still somehow watching this podcast, you need to join the Discord, and we are going to be taking suggestions for weekly topics going forward from people in the Discord or YouTube comments. So if you have something you want us to talk about on the show for a weekly topic, make sure to drop it, and we might just choose to talk about it.
Should talk about Ma on the podcast.
What's Ma?
Ma balls.
Jacob!
Stop leaning back.
I thought you fell back.
I didn't even hit anything this time. But no, thank you guys all for listening to this episode. It's a bit lengthy, we know. If you actually made it this far, we really appreciate you.
Go check out our stream with Skywalker Hendrix.
Yep, and I hope you're having a really happy Valentine's Day today. If you're spending it with us, we really appreciate you for that. Yeah, be sure to check out that TikTok. It's blowing up. Send it to your friends. We can see how high it can go.
At 1313_podcast.
So follow us on TikTok. You know the spiel. Twitter, Instagram. We're all over the place. Check us out on Spotify. We got video on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Music, wherever you can listen to a podcast.
Bro's got 23,000 views.
We be popping off. And I'm really sincere when I do say, please bug the ever living crap out of Hasbro. It's the only way that we're gonna get any sort of change. We thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you all next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Hum da da hum dum dum da. Hum da dum dum da dum. Ba-dum ba-dum. Ba-dum ba-dum. Ba-dum ba-dum. Ba-dum ba-dum. Ba-dum ba-dum. Ba-dum ba-dum dum. Hum da dum hum dum 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 dum. Hum dum da dum hum dum da da. Hey, I'm ba-da-dum da-da-dum da. Hum da-dum da-da-dum da-da-dum da. Da-da-da-ba-da-dum dum da ba-ba-da-ba-da.